Today I am doing a book haul video of all the books that were gifted to me for my birthday in May and books that I bought myself as soon as I got back to the United States. Like literally, that's the first thing I did when I came back to Florida. I bought books. 5 of them were gifted to me by my friends Amanda and Stacy. Some of these books were on my TBR, some I'd never heard of before, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. And I bought for myself a series of 4. By the way, I will say right now that this is a dreadful day in South Florida. It's been raining for like 3 weeks and I have 0 natural light, so we're gonna make do with what we got. So without further ado, let's get started. The first 2 books are Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerri Maniscalco. These are a young adult mystery historical fiction series based in the 1800s, and the story follows a 17-year-old girl named Audrey Rose, who's one of the very first female forensic students in London, which is very frowned upon in society. She should be more concerned with finding a husband than dissecting bodies. So she's into all this weird and gross type of things, and all of a sudden these women start getting murdered around London by who we know to be Jack the Ripper, and she starts making connections to her being connected to all these victims, and so she is thrown in the middle of this investigation. From what I understand, Hunting Prince Dracula picks up directly after Stalking Jack the Ripper, and she is sent to Romania to study in a forensic school there. And obviously from the title we can deduct that murders start happening, linking them to Prince Dracula. I am so excited to read these. I've been waiting to get back to America to get my hands on them, and luckily for me, my friend Amanda already had them waiting for me. This is so up my alley. I know there's a 3rd book coming out in September called Escaping from Houdini, which also sounds so awesome. An Amber in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, I feel is a series that I'm getting into super late. It seems that a lot of people have read it, and I absolutely know nothing about it. All I know is that it's about a girl who turns spy against the government in order to save her brother. There's a lot of backstabbing. It sounds interesting enough, so I'm pretty excited to read it and get into it. Another book I know absolutely nothing about, but I'm pretty excited to get into is Rebels of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. I know my friend Stacy read it and loved it, therefore she's gifted it to me. And all I know is that it takes place in a desert. There are humans and beasts, and this girl is trying to escape her living conditions, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty excited to get into it. The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa is the first in a trilogy, and one that I'm perhaps most excited to get into because it involves vampires. I love vampires. Can we just please bring them back? I really would like vampires to be the thing again. So what I gather is that this girl, main character, hates vampires but has to perhaps become one in order to save the people she loves, and there's a lot of internal struggles. I don't know, I mean, I don't really care what it's about. It's vampires and I love vampires, and so I will read it. And last but not least, we have The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This is a science fiction retelling of the princesses we know as Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, and Rapunzel. So I know nothing about this either. I just know it was highly recommended on Goodreads and by my friend Amanda. I know it has cyborgs, and all 4 princesses who are not princesses in these books are connected somehow, and I'm just interested to read them. So this is it for today's video. I don't know how many of these books I'm going to get to read in June, but I'll try my best to get through them all. And if you've read them, any of them, liked them, disliked them, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, because I really know nothing about these books, so all opinions are open. Alright guys, I will see you next time.